Nintendo's had a lot of problems with the NES selling out and the SNES selling out, which really isn't a problem. Like, I think all companies want their stuff to sell out. But when it comes to fans that are wanting to purchase the NES Classic or the SNES Classic, and they can't because they're either sold out, they're late, or people bought 10 of them because they want to sell them online for whatever reason. So Nintendo answered this by releasing a second stock of the NES Classics that came out after the original SNES Classics, but they keep selling out. And they also have a situation with their virtual console to where people are wondering exactly what is it going to be, because they came out and said that the name Virtual Console was not coming to the Nintendo Switch. You would be able to get retro games like old NES games with added online functionality as part of the Nintendo Online service. They just weren't going to be released under the Virtual Console brand, which kind of sucks because I'm a fan. Like, I think it's just a cool name, Virtual Console. It gets very straight to the point. So an idea that I had to satisfy everyone who wants the Virtual Console and people who want the NES Classics is Nintendo to come out, make an announcement whenever this the Nintendo Online service comes out, and they could say something along the lines of, "We are very proud to say that the SNES, the NES Classics are a huge success." I think last month it was announced that the NES Mini outsold the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, the Nintendo Switch, like everything. So, like, obviously people want them. So a good way for Nintendo to make money and everything, and fans to get these games and be happy, is if Nintendo came out and said, "Thank you for making it a success. We apologize that a lot of fans who wanted the games and the consoles weren't able to get them. So what we're going to do is, if you guys know of the NES remix or the SNES remix that came out on like the 3DS or the Nintendo Wii U, where they had like these mini games made from all of these classic games. So do something like that where they release the Super Nintendo or NES games on the Nintendo Switch as a cartridge. So like the 30 games that comes with the NES Classic, or the 20 games, however many there were, that came with the SNES Classic, instead of paying the $70 or $80 or $60, however much they were for these consoles, just pay like $40 for the cartridges that just has, like, it could just be called the NES collection or like the NES mini collection, and then it has all of those 30 games, or the SNES mini collection and it has those 20 games or however many was on there. And then you could have these games physically, or you could buy it as like an online package and have the games just installed on your Switch. That way you have all of the same games that you would have on the NES Classic, but they're just on your Switch. And it's exactly the same. It comes with all of the same emulation software, so you can change the way it looks on the screen and everything. Maybe even sell like the NES controllers or the SNES controllers that you can buy for the Classic system, but have them plug in like via USB to like the Switch dock or whatever. And then Nintendo would make more money because they don't have to pay the manufacturing cost of having these little NES cartridges, or not cartridges, but like the little mini NES consoles or the mini SNES consoles with like the CPU, the GPU, the RAM, the hard drive space, and everything that they have. They just have to release a cartridge with all the games on it. And so they end up saving a lot of money. Even though they're selling it cheaper than what they would the actual consoles, they end up making more money because they don't have to pay for all of the manufacturing costs. They're just paying whatever it costs to make the smallest size cartridge. Or if they sell it online, then yeah, they don't have to like upload it in a virtual console store. They don't have to worry about, well, people might buy Super Mario Bros. 3, but nobody's going to buy whatever this other obscure game is. So we're going to lose money if we just, you know, put it on there and then no one buys it. But if they bundle them all in, then everyone who can't buy the SNES or NES classics have the opportunity to play those games the exact same way that they would be played on those consoles, but they also get the chance to take them on the go. I don't know, it's like I probably could have worded that a little bit better, but that's a thought that I've always had, is just Nintendo coming out and being like, hey, the NES Classic, the SNES Classic was a huge success. Thank you all. We apologize to the fans who wanted to buy one but weren't able to. So as a thank you and as an apology, both at the same time, you can buy all those same games but on a single cartridge for your Nintendo Switch. So not only can you play it on the TV and have the fun nostalgia trip, but you can also take those games with you on the go. So that's a long way of me saying how I would love for them to do that. But what do you guys think? What are your thoughts? Sorry, Kayla, you go first.
So, part of that I agree with. Like, personally, I would be the kind of person that would really like to just have the cartridge and be able to play it on my Nintendo Switch. Like, I think that would be amazing. And even if I could, like, digitally download it and they added it to the marketplace, like, that'd be, or the eShop, that'd be awesome. But another big part of that is that we have collectors like Daniel, who, like, what if, like, for instance, the N64 Mini, whenever they do that, could you imagine if they're like, hey, you know what? Like, SNES and NES did so well, we're just not even going to give you guys a physical mini N64. We are just going to give you the games on the Nintendo Switch because it is cheaper for us to do, and we still get lots of money to do it. So that for me is like, I hope they keep following through with what they're doing, but I totally agree. Like, I would love to be able to play it on my Nintendo Switch, but that's just because it's convenient for me. And as we speak, what?
I was gonna say, do you think they would do that though? Like, I imagine, like, they could release it for the older NES and SNES Mini, but then, like, whenever they get to whether it's the Game Boy Mini Classic or the Nintendo 64 Classic, they would release it, and then like 3 months later or something, then they would release the Switch version, is how I see them doing it. That way they could still sell all of the consoles, and then for the people that weren't able to, they would be able to get the Switch version.
Yeah, no, you're right. Like, I feel like that would be the best way to do it, so that way people don't get angry. I think if they, like, have their initial, like, release of something, and then once it's all, like, sold out and people can't get it, bring it as a physical copy that people can buy in store, because that way they'll feel less like they've missed out or like they've been ripped off of something, and then the people that actually got the physical console won't be, like, super butthurt and be like, what the heck, they released it on Switch after I went out and bought the physical console. I don't know, people like to complain.
Okay, so the last part of this that I thought of is with the NES and the SNES games that are coming to the Nintendo Switch online service. They said that they were going to go and, like, add in this online functionality for them, which I don't necessarily know how that would work, because I think one of the games they talked about was Super Mario Brothers. So maybe it's just like a leaderboard.
Leaderboards, yeah.
Yeah, to where, like, your high score will be ranked against other people's high score. But then in games like Super Mario Circuit could actually have, or Super Mario Kart Super Circuit, whatever it was called, like, games like that could have traditional online multiplayer. And then they have games like Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. Whenever they added them to the 3DS eShop, they added in the online functionality to where, like, you could trade your Pokemon online with other people, and it wasn't just stuck on being played the same way that the original Game Boys were. But anyways, the second part of this is with them doing that and the Nintendo 64 online service likely being the next, what is an N64 game that you would like to see if they did bring it to the Switch, have this online functionality added to it.
Wait, haven't we had this conversation already?
Yeah, but this is just like one game. As like a not like a N64 game being added to the Nintendo 64 Classic, just one that you would like to see this online functionality added to. So it's like a second part of this, the question about not only give your thoughts on doing this SNES, NES Classic for the Switch thing, but also if they continued it with the Nintendo 64, what would the online game that you would like to see? Like Perfect Dark, Super Mario Kart, or Super Mario 64, or whatever. Just whatever. What would be your online game?
Mine's still the same answer as last time. It would be Mystical Ninja starring Goemon.
Did that have multiplayer?
Yes, it did actually.
Alright.
Yes.
I still need to look that game
There
up.
are a bunch of different versions of it. The one on N64 was a multiplayer, but I think they had it on Super NES. One was multiplayer. I don't remember.
Alright, well...
But yeah, everyone else, give your answers.
Yeah.
I've done lots of talking.
Going to you, Maka, what are your overall thoughts on, like, how would you like to see them do the SNES Mini? Would you like to see them bring it to the Nintendo Switch to where you could just buy a single cartridge and have all the games? Or would you like to see them release the games individually like they do on the Virtual Console or eShop?
Ideally, I'd like the cartridge because I think it's probably going to be the best value for money. I think that at times the Virtual Console was inflated in terms of price, and that kind of minimized it a bit. I don't see them doing that, to be honest, but I would love it. And also the other thing that I'd like is, I'm not sure in what form it'd take, but I'd love to see GameCube games on the Switch in some form. I mean, the thing is with the Switch is that it's kind of ruined console gaming for me. I lay in bed with the handheld and I'm just like, oh, this is so much more convenient, even though my TV's right there at the other end of the room. So as much as I want to play all these GameCube games that I remember from my childhood, and N64 games as well, I'm like, well, I don't want to get out my GameCube. I just want to play it on the go. So I'm kind of hoping for that, really.
All right, Ilya. What about you? Maka. The N64 game that you would like to see with multiplayer, online multiplayer.
I would say Pokemon Colosseum, but I feel like that's kind of been surpassed now.
Well, that's GameCube.
Oh, not Colosseum.
Stadium. Yeah.
Stadium. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because even playing all of those mini games that we were talking about just a moment ago online.
That would be sweet online, to be fair. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go with Stadium.
All right. Ilya.
Well, I, as someone who has a Switch, yay, I have a Switch. I love the idea of, I'm with Kayla. I would prefer to just have the cartridge for my Switch, but the only downside I can see is, even if, they still make the little consoles and then they give it for the Switch, is someone who can't afford a Switch, like where I was a little bit ago, which granted it was a birthday gift, very expensive birthday gift, but someone who's like, but I don't have a Switch, so I don't have either now. So I imagine that being a downside for them, but can't please everyone. And people are going to complain, like Kayla said, people just complain anyway. As far as what N64 game I would want, well, Banjo-Kazooie does not have multiplayer, so there's that. The only one I can think of that would be really interesting for me is the multiplayer portion of Donkey Kong 64. Because that is such a laughable section. My family and I would play it, and it's so weird, but I would so be down for playing that. I mean, bring Donkey Kong 64. It was so weird, but that's pretty much the gist of my exposure to Donkey Kong. I've tried scrolling ones, but I don't like them. I don't know what it is because I'm used to 64. But yeah, I would want that. It would never happen. But if it could, that would be hilarious.
The game that I would like to see have the online multiplayer would be I don't think they would be able to do it because it's just like Microsoft have the rights now, but like the multiplayer that was in Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie, which I
think it was only Tooie. Was
it only Tooie? All right, so
yeah, Banjo-Kazooie didn't have anything.
Yeah, the multiplayer in that was really fun for me. It reminded me a lot of Perfect Dark, but with just the Banjo characters. But that's Microsoft; they probably already have their version of that. But anyways,
yeah.
So Kayla is missing at the moment, so I guess we can move on to the Wind Waker review. Have you guys have all played it, right? Wind Waker?
Not HD.
Not HD. You don't need to play the HD version. Well, you need to, yes. It's very good.
Well, I want to, but
yeah. And then you remember a lot of the stuff in Wind Waker, Maka?
Yeah.
All right. So, are you guys ready for this?
Yes. I might pop out for just a second to ask my mom a question, but
okay. All right. Do you need to do that now? Before we get started,
yes.
We can wait? Okay.
I will be right back.
Alright, we can chat with the chat while you're gone. It'll give Kayla a moment to come back as well. So everyone that's live in the chat right now, after this, we're each going to answer 1 or 2 questions, and then the podcast will be over. So get your questions ready. You can go ahead, go to our Discord server. There should be a link in the description of the live video. Once you go into the Discord server, go to the Zelda mailbag and you can ask your questions, whatever question you would like to ask, and then we will try to answer as many as we can. Gotta fix my
as many as we can before I
Maka,
collapse.
You can go ahead and give us the people who want to check out your YouTube channel. Tell them all about it.
Oh yeah,
you still have your videos up, don't you?
I do have my videos up, so I'll just pop a message in the chat so people can look. There's a bunch of stuff there. It's a lot of Nintendo history. But I'd also say at the moment what I'm doing isn't YouTube, it's blogging. So if you want to check that out, that would be amazing because it's just started recently and like there's not many people looking. So I don't know how I'll put a link in, but maybe we put it in the Discord or something like that, and then people go have a gander.
Yeah, when people watch the video, like the edited version, it has everyone's information and the description. So.
Oh, sweet.
Sorry, I'm simultaneously a part of the podcast and eating.
Oh no, you're fine. So everybody who J-Link just posted a link to the Discord. So if you want your question, your server link expired. Okay, I think he posted a new one. So you can join the Discord and post a link, or not a link, but post your question in the Zelda mailbag, and then we will try to get to it. So, yeah. And then also, if you want a cool shirt like this, or the one that Kayla was wearing, Illy has one too, you can check those out as well. There's links in the description of the video, and I think there should be some on Discord. I keep looking back because my laptop is on Discord, so like whenever I talk about Discord I keep pointing towards it, but there's no need to. I'm a silly person. I just realized she was gone. I've been cooking. Yeah, Kayla is she left. She'll be back. She just had to do something with her new house. Her someone was coming over to help her like put up her bed or something like that. But anyways, you guys ready?
The dungeon, she called it.
Yeah. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, Maka, I apologize if we're taking up too much of your time.
fine.
All right.
It's fine.
What's up, everybody? I am Jesse, or GameOverJesse, as all of you may know me. We are here with Kayla, who is currently gone, but will be joining us in just a moment. Ilya, who you all know from past podcasts and some of our theory top 10 videos that she does voiceovers for. Oh, Kayla, you're here. Everything good?
Hello. Yeah, I was just setting up my bed.
Okay, awesome. All right, so we're going to do the Wind Waker review.
All right.
All right, so I guess I'll just redo the intro.
Hey everyone, it's me again, Ilya Rose. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. And you know what? If you're a fan of videos like this, you should totally subscribe and give this video a like. And comment below to let us know what type of videos you would like to see us create in the future. And if you would really like to support all of us here at the GameOverJesse channel, please consider purchasing a GameOverJesse t-shirt or becoming a Patreon at patreon.com/GameOverJesse, where you can receive many rewards, such as getting shoutouts, having any topic or theory that you select discussed on the podcast or made into its own video, having your question answered, joining on as a guest on the podcast, and playing with us during our Twitch live streams at twitch.tv/GameOverJesse, and much, much more.